1 million. Let's see the leverage at 4. I'm going to pay you something like 87%. In fact, it's going to be higher than that, and you're going to find out why that is the case. But if it is below that, then I'm going to actually pay you much less than that. So if it's end up at 600, you're going to actually lose money. But at what point this is going to be zero? Let's find out about that. That's going to determine the slope of that curve, kind of. So if the exchange rate is at 786 or above, I won't give you anything. And that is kind of the threshold, slope of, oh, it's over here. I need to know what that slope is, okay? I know the yield here. I know the yield if it goes to zero, okay? Well, then figuring out the slope is not a problem. That's the rate at which that yield is going to go down. And at some point, I'm going to tell myself, my client is effectively selling me a call option. Okay. Why? If the exchange rate, or a put option on the Turkish lira, I'm sorry. If the exchange rate is, let's say, 520 at maturity, I'm going to convert. Let's think about these. That 1 million is going to be equal to 2.4 billion Turkish liras at maturity. Let me see. Below 562, I'm going to act as if I'm paying 562. That's what I mean by 87% yield. So net payout is going to be 1.218 or so. But if the actual number is 550, instead of paying 1.311, I'm still going to pay 1.217. So effectively, my client sold me put options on Turkish lira, USD Turkish lira exchange rate that has value. Okay, we're going to add that back to what you want to call as additional value. But there's also the knockout. I'm telling them effectively it's not going to go below that. And if it goes below that, I'm going to pay for it, which means I'm selling my client down, up and out call option on Turkish lira. Okay. So the components are initial investment is converted to TRL by TRL denominated government bonds. Client sells the investment bank a call option a put option on USD TRL with a strike of expected deval. We know that ahead of time. And client buys up and out with rebate, of course. Call option from the investment bank. Of course, these options have value, hence they affect the actual quoted yield. I'm going to stop here. On Wednesday, we're going to actually set up a spreadsheet to price a product like this. If you work in investments and you have institutional clients, they're going to come to you for products like these. That won't take more than half of the class next time. In the second half, in the first half on Wednesday, we will actually price such a deal. By the way, I created this deal in that firm. A year before they hired me, they came to Istanbul. I was working for a treasury department of a bank at the time. They tried to sell me some stuff. I said, this is crap. And he said, what kind of product you want? I wrote this down. He said, okay, I can do this. He sold a lot to us, but he also sold a lot to other people. He got promoted, and he calls me and says, well, they promoted me, so my position is vacant now. Do you want to come? That's how I got myself hired at that firm, by designing this product. I mean, I wasn't thinking about that at the time, but because this was a deal that we wanted to make, we made a lot of money from that deal too, provided there wasn't a big exchange rate crisis. You would have made money. So we had to actually figure out how to price it, and they couldn't take advantage of me. Second half, we will price mortgage-backed security where the cash flow is divided into two simple pools, interest only, IO, and principal only, PO. When you make a mortgage payment, part of it goes to the interest, and the remaining goes down to reducing the principal. That is used to calculate the interest amount for the next month. Okay. Now, when a mortgage is prepaid, either for refi or sale of the property, interest payments cease to exist. Which means you get the principal much earlier. So you get a $100,000 mortgage. Payment is, depending upon the interest rate, somewhere between $500 and $600. And let's say initially $400 in interest. You come in, you collect $400 every month, and a year later, these guys decide to sell the house. They're going to move somewhere, or somehow they're going to pay the whole thing. There is no penalty for prepayment. In US law, I basically will get a total of $4,000. I'm sorry, $4,800 roughly. 12 months of interest payments. After that, I get nothing. The question is, how much do you pay for a cash flow that pays you only the interest component? Of course, the remaining part is the value of the principal component. And that prepayment rate is very crucial. Of course, if a mortgage, there's a foreclosure, by definition, interest payments go down, but you may also lose something on the principal as well. So depending upon the refi rates or prepayment rates and mortgage rates, the values of these things are gonna change. Then, what sort of things affect refi rates? If interest rates are going down, refinances or prepayments are going to go up, right? So in that case, you actually want to be on the principal only part. Or if interest rates are low, prepayments are going to be relatively low. People will still prepay because I sell this house, I buy the house next door. But that mortgage is somebody else's problem. I'm still prepaying. But those are kind of determined by macroeconomic factors. When the economy is doing well, people tend to be more mobile. So prepayment rates go up a little bit in addition to interest rates. But we can estimate those things. So if I want to bet on interest rates going up, I'm going to bet that refinance or prepayment rates are going to stay low. Then I'm going to go buy interest only. Otherwise, I'm going to buy principal only. People also leverage these things up 10 times. If you do the simple one, leverage is not a problem. Then you can even do senior, junior tranches on these, but we won't get into those. But when you're managing the money for a relatively large corporation, these kinds of things enhance returns. Because a lot of times market kind of puts in too much risk premium than it's deserved. So you basically benefit from those. Let's stop here today. Wednesday, we'll do that weird devaluation note thingy, and we'll do a basic IOPO deal.